Hello friends, so this is my garden update number 2. So again, sorry for the shaking of the camera. So for anybody joining me for the first time, thank you and welcome. I hope you enjoyed it here. This is generally a diamond painting channel, but I'm doing a little tour of my garden. I hope you do those YouTube things like subscribe, share, comment. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. And to my True Blues, thanks for joining me again. You are everything. So, you've seen how it looked in the beginning. Now this is in the middle of August. I had just actually published this video, the first part the other day, and so I'm going to give you an update. Things have changed, things have grown, things have died, lots of things. So let's talk. So first again, we see here, this is where the sunflowers were. They opened and they have now, you know, had their life and are saying goodbye. Probably this week. Sometime I'll probably just take them down. In these pots here we had these little gourds growing, and this is what grew from them. They didn't grow that well, honestly, in these. So what happens is these grow here. I don't know if again, I didn't actually watch that video since I made it, so I don't remember what I touched on. But these little white gourds grew. I really should pick them now because the plants are just dying. They're not doing well. There were 4 of them. 2 are completely dead, and whatever grew for them died. And these are hanging on, but they get this little stuff on top, and then they wind up just dying. I don't know why, but so those are the gourds. That's what happens with them. Not as successful. Then we go over here. I just watered. And I did not, again, because of this, during these cage things, and I'm not vigilant, quite frankly, and certainly during the time they were growing, I wasn't feeling that great physically, so I wasn't about to pull a lot of these weeds out. And also, when I did, here comes the train, hold on guys. Okay, so when I did pull some of them out in like the green bean area, it really affected the beans, I think, because, you know, you had to pull them out from the dirt, and yeah, too close together, and I think it affected them. So anyways, in here we had a in this one, was it? No, this one just has the bell peppers, and as we can see, they're still growing, some of them. Okay, are we gonna focus? Try that. Sorry. There's a green one right here, and the green one which is turning red. I don't mind if they're red, so they're staying on longer to turn red. Now in here we also had bell pepper, which is, again, there's another one right there. The bell peppers this year were so successful. These so many have grown this year. I'm so happy with them. There you go. Now, there was a wild corn one growing in this pot. We'll get to that later. And here are some tomatoes. So, tomato plants. Oh, there's another pepper plant right in there, the bell pepper, but the tomatoes here, it's having trouble focusing. So, there's not a lot on them, some of them. We picked a lot, and there's lots of green ones still. This one, we've picked enough right now, so this is the only plant that actually has quite a bit of red and orange tomatoes on it. Back up a little bit, so there are the plants. Over here, we have a wild gourd, or pumpkin. I don't know if you can see right here. Where's my foot? There's a white one. And down in there, here you could see it a little bit. It looks like a whitish pumpkin. Hopefully that stays. Here was the cucumber place where they'll look in each side. Again, really overgrown now. They're still growing. There's a cucumber there. I don't know if you can see. I haven't really checked for many lately. There's one there. Again, the pot, again here, This is completely overgrown. This is where all the green beans were. There was one harvest and I picked them, put them in the refrigerator, but we never got around to cooking them. So unfortunately, I can't tell you how they were. I don't eat them. My dad would have eaten them. Just like, by the way, I don't eat tomatoes. I don't eat cucumbers, and I don't eat the green beans. The only thing I eat are the bell peppers, and I only eat them in a quesadilla. So, you know, some of this was for fun, you know, and some of it we would have, and I do eat corn, but that's another story. We didn't get any corn. I'll go into that when I show you. So again, the pots in here were all green beans except one. We had one harvest and that was it. This had 2 bell peppers in it in this one pot, and there's tons of them. I already picked a few. There's still more growing over here. And even on this one that bent, again, that happened because I was trying to weed out the pot and it bent, but there's still even some growing on there. One's turning. Again, I can't tell how well you can see. Maybe right there you can see it a little bit. Here we have, oh, say hello to the owl. We have this in this pot right here was my peony plant. Here we have this wild bush that grows over the yard, different places. And as you can see on here, these prickly things. I have no idea what this is. I meant to cut it down. I just haven't gotten to it yet. It looks cute, but I'm kind of afraid of those prickly things. I don't know if they're poisonous or not. Over here we have our cherry tomatoes, a line of 3. Again, lots of green ones still. There are some orange ones. I just picked some today, but there aren't very many red ones on here right now. Or, well, any at all, really. They're all orange or green. So hopefully they'll still turn. Again, it's mid-August, so there's plenty of time where they should turn red, but there's lots of them. Look at all those. Get a little up close. And this one. So now to here. Story number 1. You see these leaves? This was a pumpkin, a wild pumpkin leaf, and a pumpkin was growing. Can you see this right here? There you go. See? That is the stem of the pumpkin. Well, the other day I came out, like a third of the pumpkin was eaten through. You could see the seeds on it, the rind was gone, came out. Now, usually I water every day. Of course, the next day I didn't water. It was nice and it had rained a little bit, I think, the night before, so I figured I'm gonna just be lazy and not do it. So I came out I think it was on Friday. The whole thing was gone. Wiped out, complete. There's not a seed, there's not a piece of rind anywhere. So I'm guessing the groundhog ate the entire pumpkin, except for that stem right there. All right. So that kind of sucked. So that's why I'm hoping he doesn't find that other one, the white one that's being hidden right now. Again, overrun with weeds. Here we have some orange tomatoes. They're not ready to be picked. Maybe a few more days, but we have plenty right now, honestly. My dad's actually going to bring some to work to give away. The string is used to hold the cages together so they don't collapse. I didn't put enough string because there are cages that really need to be held up better, but we'll learn next year. So here are some ones that tomatoes just on the ground that I put. They're either fell into the bottom of the bucket or they're ones that the groundhog got and left. And so to try to keep him out of the cage, I just put them around here. I put him through his opening, which is over there. And while we're talking about the groundhog, here, look at what we have here. If you all remember, right here was a line of corn. So, interesting about the groundhog. Again, I don't remember what I told you about him before, but he's been here every year. They hibernate. As you see right here, there's a little shed in my neighbor's thing. And we think he lives probably under that shed or somewhere around here. Anyways, he's been here forever. Well, I don't know if he's had a family before or not, but all I know is this year we've seen 3 of them. Like a big fat one and 2 smaller ones. So I'm thinking they're the babies. I don't know. But we've seen them a whole lot less, ironically. That now that there's 3 of them, and they've caused less destruction kind of this year, in a certain way, with the tomatoes at least. Because we don't usually plant all this other stuff. So, you know, we tried to keep them out with certain tricks. It works for a while, then they come back. So, what can you do, right? Anyways, long story long. They were growing nice and green. If you could see them, I think when I showed you them, they were just forming the corn kernel thingies. Well, they kept growing, and then by the time they were kind of medium size and they had the hair, one day I came out to water, and the silk on a couple of these plants on the end were gone. So I knew something's getting at them. So I looked it up, and it was probably, they said it could be a number of different things, and could be, again, a groundhog. And the unfortunate part is, once the silk kind of gets eaten or taken out, and then even a little bit of the top was taken off of the greens that was holding the corn, once that happens, it stops growing. And then as the few days went by, he did it to the rest of them. And at that point, you know, and some more were eaten off of it. So at that point, you know, it's a dead end, lost cause kind of thing. So we took cages off, and to keep him out of the other stuff, we figured, all right, just eat the rest of it. So he, you know, ate the rest of them, and these wind up dying, because of course I'm not going to water dying or useless plants. So he ate them. He is still going after some tomatoes, but not as many. Again, he actually goes in here. I'm surprised, because we've never seen them do that. I mean, he did know how to lift the cage, the large cage that we had last year, or the other years when we had a, you know, cage around the pots. He did actually lift it up with his nose, but he actually climbs up into these and can climb out. I actually seen him climb in and out of this one day, and not lift it. So that's a surprise. We didn't think he could actually climb it, but he did. So there we have it. And, oh, look, you can even see some morning glories, because it's still morning. Wild ones growing on these. They're all over this here. They're nice, but they strangle things, so I try to cut them back as much as I can when I see them, but now it's kind of useless. So yeah, that's the yard with our little umbrella here, and I left some stuff out. I didn't bring it in. And here we have some of our tomatoes. So this is a bell pepper. See, it's turned almost completely red, so I picked that. It was ready. And here are some cherry tomatoes, and our other another pepper. This is partly, and some nice red tomatoes. So that is the garden for the year. The first time I didn't plant any flowers. I usually plant flowers, but not this year. But we planted a whole lot of other stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this little update. Hope you enjoyed seeing our little more harvesting of the fruits and vegetables, and the mess that the weeds cause, and all that stuff. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the little tour. Look at the little neighborhood right here. Houses nearby. And until next time, guys, please be safe, be happy. Stay safe, be happy. Thanks for joining me. And have a great summer. Bye.